Welcome back, everyone. Today we're doing a deep dive into the world of chatbots.
Oh, yeah.
They're everywhere now, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
how did we get here? What even is a chatbot? And what's their impact on, well, pretty much everything? We'll answer those questions and more in this deep dive.
Sounds fun.
So to start, did you know that the concept of chatbots dates back
Oh, wow.
all the way to the 1950s?
Yeah.
Like before the internet, before most people even had computers at home, someone was already dreaming up the idea of a machine you could actually hold a conversation with.
Really? That's amazing. I mean, like, what did that even look like back then?
Well, I guess you could call it the grandparent
Yeah.
of chatbots, was a program called ELIZA,
Okay.
created by Joseph Weissenbaum.
Okay.
And get this, it used a pretty simple rule-based system
Oh, wow.
to simulate conversation.
Interesting.
Now, one of the really fascinating things about ELIZA was that it often took on the persona of a therapist.
A therapist. Like, really?
Yeah. So even back then,
Wow.
they were exploring this idea of machines that could, engage in these kind of deeper,
Right.
more personal conversations.
But how effective could it have really been?
Well, surprisingly, ELIZA was actually quite effective.
Real?
Even with its limitations, it showed that, hey, you could create this experience where a machine felt somewhat human. But of course, the big turning point was really the arrival of the internet.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And in the 1990s, we saw huge leaps forward with things like natural language processing or NLP.
Right.
And suddenly the potential for chatbots just exploded
Definitely.
because now they could be accessible to anyone with an internet connection.
Yeah.
And you started to see companies like AOL and eBay using them for things like customer service.
Oh, that makes sense.
Then you had machine learning and deep learning coming onto the scene, and that's when things got really sophisticated.
Oh, yeah.
Chatbots could handle much more complex interactions.
Okay.
They could learn from their mistakes. They could even personalize their responses in ways that people just hadn't even imagined before.
So it's like they went from basic scripts to actual learning and adapting.
Exactly. And that brings us to the incredible diversity of chatbots we see today.
So many different types.
It's amazing, right? You got your rule-based chatbots, which operate, based on these predefined rules.
Right.
Then you have the self-learning chatbots, which use machine learning to constantly adapt.
So it's almost like, think of it like a cookbook, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The rule-based chatbot is like someone rigidly following a recipe
Right.
every single time,
Makes sense.
while the self-learning chatbot is more like a chef,
Okay.
experimenting, perfecting their dishes over time.
Right. Based on feedback and experience.
Exactly. And then, of course, you have the hybrid chatbots
Okay.
that combine the best of both worlds.
So they have some structure, but also that flexibility to learn and adapt.
Exactly. And it's all about finding the right approach for this specific task, right?
Okay.
Then there's the whole thing about structured versus unstructured chatbots.
Right. What's that all about?
So a structured chatbot, it's great when you need to guide someone through a very specific process.
Okay.
Like, imagine a chatbot that helps you book a flight
Yeah.
or order food online.
Right. Very specific steps.
Exactly. Efficient, predictable.
But an unstructured chatbot.
Those are the wild ones.
Uh-huh.
They can handle all sorts of different questions and conversations.
So more like a free-flowing conversation.
Exactly. Much more versatile, but also much harder to develop.
So there's a lot more going on under the hood.
Oh, for sure.
And then on top of all that, you've got virtual assistants, speech-based bots, visual chatbots. It's a whole universe out there.
It's incredible.
And the future of chatbots, well, that's a whole other exciting conversation.
A whole lot to talk about.
So let's dive into that next.
Let's do it. I'm ready. The future of chatbots. I mean, where do we even begin?
It's pretty mind-blowing to think about, right? Like, what trends should we be watching for?
So one of the biggest things is the advancements in natural language understanding.
I told you.
Right, and natural language generation, or NLG.
So these are the technologies that are making chatbots sound more and more human.
Exactly. I mean, imagine having a conversation with a chatbot and it feels just as natural as talking to a friend.
That's the goal.
It is, but getting there is, well, there are a lot of challenges.
Yeah. Like what?
Think about how sarcasm or a cultural context can completely change the meaning of a sentence.
Right. So much nuance to human language.
Exactly. And those are the kinds of things that NLU and NLG are trying to master.
It's fascinating and kind of intimidating at the same time.
Yeah, bit of both.
What about integration with other technologies? Are we going to see chatbots popping up in AR and VR and all that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're already seeing it.
Okay, cool.
Chatbots are being integrated with things like the Internet of Things, augmented reality, virtual
To
reality.
create these like immersive experiences, right?
Exactly. Imagine a chatbot guiding you through a virtual museum tour, personalized to your interests.
That would be awesome.
Or using augmented reality to help you troubleshoot a problem with your home appliance.
So it's not just about text anymore.
No, it's becoming much more multisensory.
It seems like chatbots are popping up in more and more industries too.
Oh, yeah. Healthcare, finance, education, you name it.
So as chatbots get more capable, are we going to see them start replacing humans? I mean, that's the big question, right?
It's a question everyone's asking, and it's a tricky one.
Okay.
I think it's important to remember that chatbots are designed to complement human abilities, not replace us entirely.
So more like a dynamic duo.
Exactly. Chatbots can handle those simple, repetitive tasks, freeing up humans to focus on the more complex and nuanced issues.
The things that require like empathy and creativity.
Exactly. It's about each playing to their strengths.
So give me an example of that, like in the real world.
Sure, so imagine a customer service scenario.
Okay.
A chatbot can easily handle things like password resets or order tracking.
Okay, the basic stuff.
Right, but then a human agent is there to deal with those more challenging situations.
The ones that need a deeper understanding of the customer's needs.
Right, or maybe a bit of creative problem solving.
So everyone wins.
It's a win-win.
Now, I want to talk about chatbots in the world of digital marketing,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
because that's another area where they're really making waves.
Huge impact.
What are some of the ways that chatbots are changing the marketing game?
Well, for one, they're incredible for lead generation.
Okay, how so?
They can engage with potential customers 24/7.
Oh, that's right. No breaks needed.
Answer questions, provide information, and collect leads all at the same time.
It's like having a virtual sales assistant working around the clock.
Exactly. And then there's the personalization aspect.
Right, because they can learn about each individual customer
They can analyze customer data and tailor recommendations and offers.
to make it feel more relevant.
Exactly. And that leads to higher customer satisfaction and a better chance of making a sale.
So it's win-win for the business and the customer.
Absolutely. And of course, chatbots are amazing for customer service.
Okay, tell me more about that.
They can provide instant support, resolve issues quickly, and it's all happening in real time.
Which is what people expect these days, right?
This is a game changer.
No more waiting on hold for hours.
Exactly. Plus, chatbots can be used to retarget customers who abandon their carts.
Oh, right, those little reminders.
Gently nudge them back towards a purchase.
Clever.
And they're great for email marketing too, sending out targeted and relevant information.
So they're really becoming marketing multitaskers.
They are. And don't forget about data collection.
Right, they can gather all sorts of insights.
Valuable information about customer interactions and behaviors.
And that helps marketers refine their strategies.
It's a goldmine of data.
So it's not just about automating tasks, it's also about understanding the customer better.
It's both.
And that brings us to another really important aspect of chatbots.
Okay.
Their potential to be a force for good.
In the world of technology, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we've talked about all the amazing things they can do for businesses.
Right.
But what about the broader impact on society?
So one of the biggest things is enhanced customer service accessibility.
Okay. Yeah.
Chatbots can provide instant support to anyone with an internet connection.
Regardless of their location or time zone?
Exactly. And they're great for automating those mundane tasks.
Freeing up human agents for more meaningful work.
Absolutely. And in the world of e-commerce, chatbots are simplifying online shopping
Making it easier for people to find what they need.
and complete their purchases.
What about education? Are chatbots having an impact there?
Oh, definitely. They can personalize learning experiences.
Okay, how so?
By adapting to individual learning styles and providing real-time feedback.
It's like having a personal tutor available 24/7.
Exactly. And in healthcare.
Healthcare is another huge area.
Right. Chatbots are improving access to information and care.
By answering questions, providing reminders.
Even assisting with remote patient monitoring.
Wow, that's incredible.
It is. And they're proving to be especially helpful for mental health support.
Oh, interesting. Tell me more about that.
They can provide a safe and anonymous space for people to discuss their concerns,
Okay.
offer coping strategies, connect them with resources.
That's so important, especially given the stigma surrounding mental health.
It is, and it really shows how technology can be used to break down barriers and improve lives.
Absolutely. So We've talked about all the amazing things chatbots can do,
The potential is huge.
but I think it's important to also talk about the other side of the coin.
Okay, yeah.
Are there any downsides, any risks, any concerns we should be aware of?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like any powerful technology, chatbots have the potential for both good and bad. I think one of the biggest things to be mindful of is bias,
Okay.
especially with those chatbots that use machine learning.
Right, they're learning from data, so
They're shaped by the data they're trained on.
if the data's biased,
Exactly.
then the chatbot's going to be biased.
It could unintentionally perpetuate those biases.
So it's not just about the technology itself, but about how it's developed and the data it's trained on.
Absolutely. It's like, think of it like teaching someone a new language.
Okay.
If you only expose them to a limited vocabulary or a particular dialect, their understanding of that language will be, well, incomplete.
It's not the whole picture.
And the same goes for chatbots.
Makes sense.
They need to be exposed to a wide range of data to avoid reinforcing harmful stereotypes or biases.
It's like anything. You need a balanced diet of information.
Right. Exactly.
So bias is one concern. What else? What other risks should we be thinking about?
Data privacy is another big one.
Yeah, that's huge.
Chatbots collect a lot of personal information.
During those conversations, right.
And if that data isn't handled securely and ethically, well, it could be vulnerable.
To breaches or misuse?
Exactly, and that's a huge concern.
Definitely. So data privacy is key. Anything else?
I think there's also the broader question of what happens to jobs.
Oh, yeah, the whole robots taking over thing.
Well, it's not quite that simple. I mean, new technologies have always disrupted the workforce.
Right, like throughout history.
But they've also created new opportunities in industries.
It's not always a one-to-one replacement.
No, and with chatbots, I think it's more about job evolution than job displacement.
Okay, so what does that mean? What kind of evolution are we talking about?
As certain tasks become automated, we need to focus on developing the skills that complement those AI capabilities.
Okay, so things that humans are really good at.
Exactly, like critical thinking, creativity, complex problem solving, emotional intelligence.
Those are the uniquely human traits that are hard to replicate.
And those are the skills that will be in high demand.
So it's not about fearing the technology, it's about adapting to it.
And embracing lifelong learning.
Right, because the future of work is constantly changing.
It's dynamic.
So we've talked about the potential downsides and risks,
The things to be mindful of.
but I'd love to hear about some of the emerging trends that have you excited.
Oh, there are so many. One of the biggest ones is voice-enabled chatbots.
Okay, yeah, those are getting really popular.
People are so comfortable with smart speakers and virtual assistants now.
It's just easier to talk than to type sometimes.
And as natural language processing gets better, those voice-enabled chatbots are becoming more and more capable.
Understanding those nuances of human speech.
It's like having a real conversation.
And that's changing everything from customer service to healthcare to education,
Breaking down barriers.
making things more accessible for everyone.
Exactly. And then there's the metaverse.
Oh, yeah, the metaverse. Everyone's talking about the metaverse.
It's still early days.
Okay.
But chatbots are going to play a huge role in how we navigate and interact in these immersive digital worlds.
I could see that, like having a guide in a virtual museum or a new city,
Or even a companion.
chatbot companion.
It's a possibility. They could be our assistants, advisors, companions in the metaverse.
Amazing to think about.
And as those lines between the physical and digital worlds blur, well, chatbots are going to be everywhere.
So we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
A lot to think about.
From the history of chatbots
Those early pioneers.
to the different types that exist.
What are those different approaches?
To the potential impact on everything from business to technology to society.
It's all evolving so quickly.
It's exciting and a bit overwhelming.
It's both. But ultimately, I think it's about using this technology responsibly.
To make the world a better place.
To improve lives, create new possibilities.
That's what's really exciting about this field.
The potential is huge.
So to our listeners out there, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of chatbots.
Thanks for listening.
Keep those chatbot conversations flowing, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.